school districts and the WIA require good sportsmanship at education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. And now, if you're able, please stand, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Hello and welcome to another exciting night of Panther Lacrosse live on OCA Media, your home for Panther sports. I'm Kevin Bice, along with Nick Yielding, bringing you another action-packed match only on OCA Media. Tonight, the Oregon Panthers host the Verona Wildcats.
Yeah, and pretty decent night here tonight. The sun was out earlier. A little bit of a brisk wind coming in. We'll see how that affects the team's passing tonight, but otherwise, about what you can expect for mid-April lacrosse here in the state of Wisconsin, Kevin.
You know, if you didn't know any better, it looks pretty nice out, but if you've been down on that field level, that wind is whipping around, and there's definitely a briskness to the air tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how many of these players here opt to put sweatpants on at halftime. The wind is a bit sharp here tonight.
So some of the key players for Verona to keep an eye out for today. In goal, they have I believe a sophomore named Caleb Jabas. Great frame for a goaltender, excellent, hardworking kid, very talented, definitely an up-and-coming player in the Madison area. At attack, Jacob Frick, he is a senior. At LSM, Mitchan. At close D, they've got Tyler. And then as a scoring midfielder, they've got Gill. For the Oregon Panthers, in goal, Logan Leatherberry has been outstanding. He won a number of awards last year. He's already signed to play Division I. He's the anchor of that back line for a young defense. At face-off, we've got Israel Mickelson, again, probably the top face-off player in the state. Unfortunately, he's struggling with a hamstring injury tonight, so we'll see how much he actually participates. Trevor Barlow with the ground ball.
Oregon looking to clear here. Moving out to the right side of the field for options outfield, and they connect there.
They might have numbers if Cato Mickelson decides to push it here.
Slows it down, opts to move it off here and work the ball around the offense. So Kevin, I think keys for a Panther victory here tonight are to run a lot of this offense through the midfield. It looks like that's they're producing a lot of their scoring from this year.
Yeah, Oregon has done a good job of taking advantage of matchups against the short stick defenders, forcing that defense to slide, and then moving the ball off of that. They've been a little bit inconsistent. Oh!
There we go. just as he speaks it into existence.
Is that Cato Mickelson there?
Cato Mickelson
Cato
isolating
Mickelson.
that short stick defender, dodging down the alley. Verona a little slow to help there on defense.
Oregon goal scored by number
Pick up the pace of
3,
helping there.
Cato Mickelson.
One thing that Oregon has had in recent years, including this year, that a lot of teams in state struggle with is Oregon has a good supply of lefties on offense, lefty playmakers, and that really can change how you run offense. I think we'll see a lot of that tonight. A lot of sweeps and a lot of attacking from those lefties.
Yeah, absolutely. An abundance of lefties is a good problem to have, huh? Verona controlling another face-off here. Sort of dominated the face-off X here early tonight.
It was Owen Tauschik taking the face-off for Oregon, so Israel Mickelson already taking a spell on the sideline. Usually he Ironmans it and takes just about every face-off he can get.
Yeah, I'd like to see if we can get that hamstring warmed up here in the first quarter and maybe make an appearance here on the field.
Yeah, it's a tough night trying to stay warm and keep that hamstring loose.
Absolutely. Very tough night for that.
There you go.
Great save there by Leatherberry. Oregon looking to clear Verona. Looks like they're running a bit of a shut-off ride here.
Yeah, Verona's locking off, and Oregon's running an attack over clear.
There we go.
Verona was onto it that time.
Great pass there by Leatherberry to clear the zone.
Parker Rydell, I believe, is also coming right back off of an injury, so he's still getting back into the swing of things, but he's been another really solid sophomore for Oregon. Good take by Barlow.
Yeah, if there's one thing Trevor's great at, it's getting in the middle of the defense and just worming his way through multiple players at once.
Is Israel Mickelson?
Oregon opting to work the ball around the offense here, get things set up. See if they take one of these matchups, take it high, and try to dodge down the alley again here.
Barlow, as a lefty, is not really on his preferred side of the field for a dodging sequence here. Looks like a mouthguard violation.
Yep. Oof. Those will get you. For those players watching at home, the mouthguard is not an optional piece of equipment. It needs to remain in your mouth during play.
There we go. Good, solid, stout defense.
Verona swarms to the ground ball, though. Moves it around here on offense. I'd like to see his Panther defense be a little more aggressive, press out, and get to hands here. Create some disruption for this passing Verona's got right now.
Oregon's starting long poles this year have plenty of talent, but Oregon graduated a lot of poles last season, and so there's still a pretty inexperienced crew back there.
Yeah, that is a great point. New crop of players coming up here on the defense.
It helps you play with confidence when you know you got Logan Leatherberry behind you covering up some of those smaller mistakes.
Yes, it allows the defense to press out, be a little more aggressive, take some chances, and try to create some plays and get that ball turned over.
Nice clear here. Brett Rude clearing over the midline.
Splits right through two Verona players.
No flag.
A little bit of tripping over his own feet there. Ball is still on the ground. Both teams fighting for it, but of course Israel Mickelson, the ground ball machine, comes out of that scrum with that one.
And I think that's another thing we'll want to watch out for tonight is if one team is dominating the ground ball battles, this is a field traditionally that has been difficult for players to scoop on, especially if they're not used to it. So that might be an advantage for Oregon.
Yeah, definitely. That beautiful turf field that Verona has over at their campus, not quite the same as this thick, luscious grass here at Stadium of Oregon.
Got to appreciate it while it lasts, because I believe in another year they're putting turf in.
Yes.
So there was a flag there. They called a 30-second hold. I'm not sure if it was from Brett Rude when he was tripped up in the midfield earlier, if there was something else that I didn't see, maybe on that drive to the net from Israel. Oregon starting in an open set for their power play. Verona is in a five-man rotation. Ooh.
Good save there by the Oregon.
And Jacob Yeagley with an absolute cannon of a shot, but probably wanted to be a little more patient there and work for something better. Verona might have a fast break here if they push. Jacob Sturts with a nice job.
Great job, guys!
Has he signaled yet, or is he considering the possibility of being in the crease? Didn't see a signal from
I've not seen the official
Matt
signal
Bach,
for a goal.
the official.
I think he's discussing with another official here. See if he maybe had a better angle on that crease. And the goal is good.
Nice opportunistic play by Verona there in transition.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Oregon defense let a little bit sneak behind them there. You like to see them keep their head on a swivel, make sure that their guy is the deepest guy there on that side of the field. It's like Owen back out to take another face-off here. See if we can get some support in from the wing players here. We got Trevor Barlow here on the near side. Bit of a fight there, 50-50 ground ball, and looks like Owen comes up with it. Good face-off win there for Oregon.
Verona's penalty just released, so there's a lot of traffic over by that substitution box right now. Owen Tauschek doing a really nice job escaping pressure.
Wow, draws the penalty here, gets the shot off. And an additional penalty here.
I believe that was 2 different players, so Verona will most likely be 2 men down here for at least 30 seconds.
Very tough, hard-nosed play there by Owen in the middle of the field to clear that ball after a solid face-off win. See the Panthers take advantage of this power play opportunity here.
30-second technical for offsides was the first signal. I didn't see a second signal that was distinct unless there were
like
2 offsides.
It looked like a technical there, so I believe that second will be 30 seconds as well.
Seconds.
To imagine there was a push with possession there at the back end of that play.
So it'll be interesting to see how Oregon responds after not a great first power play look.
See him move this ball a little quicker
Yep,
here.
yep, a lot quicker.
Try to pull this Verona
That's better,
defense
that's
out
better.
of position there. Crisp ball movement.
Great save by Caleb Jabas.
Really sold out for that one. Otherwise, good look on the power play there from Oregon. Just a stout goal here from Verona tonight.
Levin used to strip to the ball, and it looks like a slash is going to be
Yes.
called on that flag down.
Delayed penalty here. Verona looking to take advantage of this opportunity here. For those watching at home, this delayed penalty is something akin to a free play in football, where the defense jumps off sides and the quarterback snaps the ball. It's a very low-risk kind of play here. They're able to work the ball around for a shot, because right when Oregon picks up possession here, the play will be called dead, and a penalty will be assessed.
Verona is a very well-coached team, so I would imagine they'll be smart about this and possess the ball until their second penalty releases before they go to the cage. Make sure that they get a 6-on-5 opportunity, and sure enough.
Back at full strength here for the Verona Wildcats. Verona looking to initiate here from the low corner. Driving upfield, turned away by Trevor Barlow. It's solid defense there. Swinging it to the backside here.
Adam Zach with the ball. I believe he's their top midfield scoring threat.
Just slightly wide of that upper corner there.
So a 1-minute slash against Oregon. And that's Brady Fielden there for Oregon as the short stick defender, which is an awfully tough position for anybody. You have to be an outstanding athlete to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, on top of that, you have to have great awareness, too, kind of playing air traffic control in the middle of that defense at times. The offense will cycle guys through the middle of the field and often replace and set screens on the inside there. So, yes, that short stick defensive midfielder spot on penalty kill is a tough job.
Nice save by Oregon.
Good opportunity there. Just stuffed by Leatherberg here. Oregon comes over to that spell. Oh, spoke a little too soon here. So we had a timeout call there.
I'm not sure who had possession and who called that
yeah.
timeout. Cato's jogging over towards the ball. I'm going to assume it's Oregon ball to restart play. But it's going to give Verona a chance to set up in a ride. Good chance for them to earn the ball back and put some pressure on Oregon.
It's like Verona's set up to concede this a little bit. A lot of their players on their defensive half of the field here.
Yeah, I would expect two attackmen and probably the LSM, the long pole midfielder, to be over pressuring ball. And instead, they've two attackmen, and that midfielder is sitting back off ball quite a bit.
Yeah, we'll see what their plan is here. Force him to move the ball, or if they're going to try to pin him here, turn him back.
Being a cross-country runner, just throws on the jets. And might even get an odd man rush out of it.
Tall task for any attackman, trying to shut him down on the ride there.
Coach Kramer for Verona calling for an early slide on the dodge. Clearly was a little bit nervous about that matchup. He knows Cato Mickelson can be such a good dodger.
Yeah, especially with these midfielders for the Oregon team here. It's kind of pick your poison with who you choose to cover with that long stick midfielder.
Yeah.
Do you cover the Mickelson brothers? Do you cover Trevor Barlow? You cover Jacob Yeakley when he's out there on the field. I think he's battling a hamstring injury here as well. Yeah, hasn't made too much of an appearance.
Left hand here and turn the corner. He's got it.
Sweeps across.
Oh.
Good shot, just slightly wide of the mark there.
You know, Trevor is such a good player, but he definitely has a knack for starting the year off a little sloppy with his shooting, and he hits his stride kind of mid-season. What a take by Israel Mickelson there.
Watched a lot of Lyle Thompson highlights here this week.
Canadian backhand goal. Don't see that often around here.
Just testament to the skill set that he possesses.
Oregon Panther goal by number 13, Israel Mickelson.
Israel Mickelson, outstanding student athlete, is going to Washington and Lee University next year in Virginia. So I'm really excited for him. It's a beautiful area, a lot of really fun stuff to do, and an outstanding school.
And some very competitive lacrosse out there in that conference, if I'm not mistaken. Owen really tying him up here on the face-off X. Making it a 50-50 ground ball.
Henry Rothering with position.
Doing a good job moving that ball to extra space there.
Uh-oh.
His teammate. And tough play by Verona in the middle of the field there to possess that ball at the face-off.
It's the second or third time tonight we've seen a player slip, and I believe they're going to call a 30-second hold on that, which is tough.
It's just an unfortunate position there. Player slips, you're standing up, kind of get tangled up in an awkward position, and there's not really much you can do there. to see if Verona possesses here and works for a good shot like last time. Oh, wow. Wow, great series of offensive rebounds there. Tough ground ball in the middle of the field. Won by Verona again.
Oregon's got to sit in here and just kind of recalibrate things. And
yeah, with Logan in net there, you'd like to see the defense. Great shot. Outside there by Jackson Connor, midfielder for the Verona Wildcats.
with that goal, because it was a 30-second technical foul, that flag will be waved off. Both teams will be full strength for the face-off. And I think that goal really illustrates what I've been seeing out of Oregon this year. I mentioned that their defense is a little bit inexperienced, although very talented. And they seem to get in trouble when they panic. I think if they really focus on their one-on-one matchup and disrupting shooters' hands, they shouldn't be so worried about giving shots up, because you've got a goalie like Logan Leatherberry back there to stop them. Instead, what we saw there was a very quick slide from the crease. They did not have a backside player helping in to cover that crease player that was being left open by the slide, and ended up giving Verona some really nice opportunities there.
Yeah, I'd like to see this defense get a little more organized here into the second quarter. Verona with another big face-off win.
I think that'll be something that comes with a little bit more maturity later in the season as these guys are gearing up for playoffs. I really would expect the Oregon defense to tighten up and start to coordinate that better.
Defense is one of those things that the more opportunities they get to play together, learn each other's tendencies and communication styles, the better they become.
Again there, the second slide was a little bit late. That hot slide went really quickly and the fill slide was late. Loose ball push called on Levin Eustace, gives the ball back to Verona. Jacob Frick with the ball, one of Verona's top offensive options.
Good defense here by Levin Eustace.
Doing a great job moving his feet.
Disrupting the hands, staying mobile.
And Jacob
Keeping good body
Sturtz.
positioning there.
Jacob, who actually attends McFarland High School, is going to play at Carroll College, Division III next year. Brady Field down low, and that's just a tough spot for a short stick defender to be in. Defending behind the net is something that they don't do often, so it's always very uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Oregon defense help in a little bit more there, be a little lower on the field to kind of eat up some of that space and shorten that slide there. Defense discussing there, getting organized.
And Tauschek's back out for the face-off.
Push against the Verona Wildcats here.
The ball was loose, so it must be a slash or something. Again, I wasn't able to see the signal there.
It does look like they assessed a 30-second push with possession. It's the Verona Wildcats there. Sometimes, it's tough for the officials to see that ball bouncing out of a player's cross there as they're getting pushed.
And this is about as seasoned a crew of officials as you could hope for. Mike Savarese, Matt Bach, Matt Bach won a state championship with Middleton a few years back, and Eric DuBois. Three very, very good officials. Again, too slow with the ball movement here from Oregon on their man up, their power play.
Doing a good job of drawing some of these Verona defenders upfield, but they're not moving the ball.
Great save again by Caleb Jabas. He's really seen the ball well tonight. We got about 15 seconds left here in this first quarter. Penalties released. Love to see Parker Rioto flash that backside pipe. It's just sitting a little too low. As
As we close out the first quarter here tonight, it is the Oregon Panthers 2, Verona Wildcats 3.
Well, with a quarter down, I'd say that the game has been about what I had expected coming in. It's a little bit sloppy, largely due to the weather and field conditions. Both teams have made some nice plays, but neither team has really established a dominance in any of the key aspects of the game. Ground balls, transition. I think if Oregon was able to place their shots a little bit better, they'd be in a much better situation right now. I think they can capitalize on that going forward. But it's been nice to see this Verona program build themselves back up. They've gotten better every year over the last 3 or 4 years under the stewardship of Al Kramer. It's a blue blood program for Wisconsin. They've been very good. They've a lot of state championships under the belt for Verona back in the day. But tough stretch in the last 3 or 4 years. I think they're really starting to hit their stride. They've put a lot of effort into youth development. They've done things the right way. It's starting to pay off for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of that blue blood program here, comes from personal experience for you, as you are a former player of the Verona Wildcats program.
I was a 2005 Verona graduate. Coach Al Kramer was, I believe, a 2013 graduate of Verona.
And the student becomes the master, some may say.
The roots run deep. So we got Owen Lang taking the face-off for Verona, and Owen Tauschik for Oregon. And Owen Lang, also a very, very good face-off specialist for Verona.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like this has been a very even battle here with the face-off acts. Really won in these ground ball scrums that are occurring after the initial face-off.
Yeah, and I think this is one area where both these teams have a chance to really establish themselves on the ground ball. If one team can assert themselves with physicality or numbers or any number of ways on the ground balls, that really could throw this game quickly in one way or the other. Oh, that's going to be a slash.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and another great save there.
I think they're going to discuss whether or not that slash was to the head, in which case they might lock it in for a minute or even tack on another minute.
From our angle here, it did look like that player made contact with the Oregon player's face mask there on that slash. We'll have to see what's assessed here. Full
Locked
time,
in.
though I could not tell if that is a 1 or 2 minute penalty.
So what that means is if Oregon is able to score on this power play, the Verona player will remain in the penalty box for the full time of his penalty. So Oregon could conceivably score 2 or 3 goals on a power play here.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some crisp ball movement here by the Panthers on this possession. Really
Love to see them just spin it once as quickly as they can.
pull this defense out of position, get a goal here early in this opportunity, and try to see what they can do thereafter. Big shot from outside by Israel Nicholson, but again, stopped by the Verona keeper here.
Aggressive outlet, doesn't quite connect.
Good control of that ground ball there by Tim Grice initially, and great clear field here. Get the Oregon Panthers back on offense in this power play opportunity.
Trevor Barlow taking a bit of a risk there, dodging on a power play look. The space was there, but that's one that Coach Francis is going to be not terribly pleased about. Now Verona's getting a fast break opportunity.
Good recovery there by the Oregon defense.
Nice, really nice job by Jacob Sturz to
Yes.
disrupt hands and force that player to back away.
Good job keeping pressure on those hands for duration there as the rest of the Panthers are getting into position to help on defense here. Looks like Verona's opting to kill off the rest of this penalty time, get back to full strength, and look to press. Here calls from the stands here to remind the Panthers that Verona is man down and to press out, create a little bit of disruption here. Looks like Trevor Barlow heard the message, but a little bit of a scuffle there.
That was a moving screen. They gave him a timeout, okay. I know it's tough as a fan to watch a team just possess the ball and kill off a penalty and to not send pressure as that team on defense with the extra player. But from my experience, more often than not, when you try to send that double team pressure, that player escapes through both of them, end up giving up a goal, and sometimes the conservative play is the way to go.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Panthers kind of press the advantage a little bit there on defense, but have that free player hang out in the middle of the field as free help there to support if needed.
Yeah, allow that on-ball defender to be a little more aggressive with his positioning checks.
So we find ourselves with 9 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the second quarter. Score is still Oregon Panthers 2, Verona Wildcats 3. Logan Leatherberry heading back out to cage here. And get back underway on this defensive possession here for the Panthers.
Verona in their last game had a big victory over DeForest. I believe the final was 8-3. And a lot of times a game like that, I know last year they had a really tight and heated contest with DeForest, and so to come out this year and play that same team and take an 8-3 victory away, you can see some of the confidence that Verona's playing with, which is a key part of what has been lacking for them in recent years. It's a lot of doubt and hesitancy. And you're not seeing nearly as much of that tonight. They look a lot more coordinated on offense. They look like they're not worried so much about throwing the ball away or turning it over. They're just playing and not overthinking, and it's what leads to good lacrosse.
Yeah.
So Oregon pressing off adjacent, trying to put some pressure on the ball carrier here. Henry Rothering playing defense.
Keeping the feet moving, maintaining good
Nice
position
job
there.
on the hips.
Verona moving that ball around. Looks like they're back at full strength here. Back to 6-on-6 lacrosse.
Gabe Grossen playing short stick defense on the ball.
Maintaining good positioning, shadowing his player.
We can see that hot slide in the middle.
To see them send that a step sooner there. Cover backside.
Shot off the crossbar there.
Good recovery and awareness there by the Oregon defense. That Verona player had a pretty good opportunity there when he initially picked the ball up.
So in the middle, you can see number 20, Tim Grice. He's doing a great job of being prepared as that hot slide to help double team the ball if it needs to happen. Warding called against Verona. And warding means you can't use your free arm when you have the ball. You can't use your free arm to push away the defender.
Verona looks to still be running that lock-off ride here, Kevin. One of
Trevor
your
Barlow.
favorites.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan because it doesn't really teach players to ride, but it can be very effective.
Yes, as evident here tonight.
Brett Root on the ground ball. I'm not sure what it was blowing for.
Looks like time expired there on the clear before Panthers were able to cross the midfield line. Possession awarded to the Verona Wildcats.
I see. So upon possession on defense, you have 20 seconds to clear the ball over the midline. And if you don't do that, it's a turnover.
I believe, is it still 10 seconds to get it into the offensive box there?
No, I don't think that's a rule anymore. I'm not sure.
Hope not.
Great save there by Logan Leatherberry on a doorstep shot from Verona. And once again, that Oregon hot slide on defense looks very eager to go, and I'm not seeing their cold side, their backside player that's supposed to fill into the crease. He's not consistently there. And Tim Grice with the ball here, and Oregon's got numbers. And the right decision by Tim Grice to try to make the one more pass, but the execution wasn't quite there. Another young player with a lot of promise. Great to see him getting a lot of varsity playing time this year.
Absolutely, and very experienced play there to move that ball. Just like to see him connect on that there and give the Panthers a good opportunity.
It's always tough when a long pole gets that ball on the offensive half. They tend to get eyes for the cage because they don't get many opportunities. So when they're willing to pass that ball off instead of go to the cage, you always got to appreciate it. So Gabe Grossen and Brady Field out as short stick defenders for Oregon again. Verona running some pick play. Some nice little off-ball exchange. Another post. Wow. A turnover and a bad pass. Ball back to Verona.
I'd like to see the Oregon defense take that brief pause there to get a little more organized and get guys into the interior of the defense there.
A lot of space here on a short stick defender. Oof. One of the really important factors when you're playing against a team that's going to run a lock-off ride like Verona's been doing is you got to have a goalie that is accurate and can throw the ball hard. And Logan Leatherberry is really good at that and has been doing an outstanding job of that tonight. Even though he didn't connect on that one, it's about as good as you could hope for. Oregon starting in an open formation, leaving the crease open. Like to see some quick passing and then see some off-ball cuts to fill that crease area since there's so much space in the interior. Israel Mickelson from behind the net.
To see some more off-ball movement here by the Panthers.
Nice skip pass to the backside, but it's throwaway, tough. And with players slipping and the grass, the footing not holding up too well tonight, that does make it tough on Dodgers. It's sometimes you just got to be able to make one hard move and lower your shoulder and try to run through that first check. I'm seeing a lot of times where the Oregon players are making that first move and trying to roll back, and that's where the slips are happening. It's been happening to Trevor Barlow a couple of times and Israel Mickelson as well.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the field conditions here.
I wonder the double team here.
What role the wind is playing here in some of those longer cross-field passes. See them shorten these passes up and just work the ball around quickly and efficiently.
Oh, that's going to be a 30-second push.
See the cross-check may be assessed here as well.
And that's one of those where if Israel's hamstring wasn't hurting him, he'd probably make the effort play to run that player down and play that appropriately. And when that hamstring's hurting and you know you don't have the wheels to run that guy down, you try to compensate and things like that happen. So that one's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, 5 minutes left in the first half. 3-2 Verona. Verona about to begin a 30-second power play for a push. Verona starting in a 3-3 formation, which is certainly the most common one you'll see these days in a power play. Oregon in a box and one. Stringing from crease. Nice job by Brady Field there, showing out and breaking down. Great save by Logan Leatherberry. And Oregon has a fast break here. If he's able to draw and move it. One more. Oh.
Great display of goalkeeping here tonight by both goalkeepers.
Caleb Jabez is really looking like he's matured as a sophomore. You could see the talent in his freshman year, but he had some inconsistency, and he's looked outstanding tonight. Both goalies have looked outstanding tonight, which I can't say either of us are terribly surprised by.
So we can get the ground ball up out of here.
Yeah, Oregon. I'd like to see Oregon get some more bodies over there, some more players. There you go.
Tim Grice on the ground ball, moves it over to Leatherberry. Moving upfield, assessing options here. Breakdown in the Verona ride there, missed assignment. Frees up Israel Mickelson. See another player slip here. This recent rain seems to be hanging around, saturating the field, and still creating some issues here tonight.
Brett Root with the ball and a lot of space against a short defender. Oh, another outstanding save. And we had a great angle on that. You could see the screen. The defender was kind of screening the goalie from that shot, and he still tracked it so well.
Brett Root doing a good job of tracking that Verona player down and coming up and getting over initially. Verona does pick up the ground ball. Drives in, gets the shot off. No backup there.
Backup goes to Logan Leatherberry in Oregon.
Great to see Logan selling out there to get possession back for the Panthers. For those watching at home, Kevin, if we explained the rule there with shots.
So when you take a shot and you miss the net, the player closest to the ball as it leaves the field, that team gets possession. That includes a goalie, as we saw on that last.
Great ground ball there by Logan Leatherberry. Moves the ball field.
Great athlete, and Oregon will have numbers again. If they push, they might. They're content to slow it down and settle on offense.
Great hustle there by Jackson Connor from the Verona Wildcats to cut off that fast break opportunity.
Israel Mickelson making that one-handed scoop look easy on this grass. It's ambitious. I wouldn't try that these days. Again, Verona's leaving a lot of space in the interior when Oregon starts in this open set, and some quick ball movement and some poking and prodding kind of dodges instead of big slashing dodges. I think they could have a lot of success with that. I would not be shocked if that's something they talk about at halftime with Coach Francis. And speaking of which, there was a timeout called by Oregon, so they'll regroup with 1:35 left in the half. I'm sure Coach Tim will be drawing up some X's and O's, seeing if they can get an easy look coming out of the timeout here.
Yeah, absolutely. To your point earlier, I'd like to see him take advantage of that space being left in the middle of the field by the Verona defense there. There's some opportunities for players to cut when their player's not looking, occupy some of that space and call for the ball.
It's always a little tough when you call the timeout with about 1:30 left or any substantial amount of time, because if you run a set play, it's going to take you about 15 to 20 seconds at most. You don't want to leave a lot of time on that clock to potentially give the ball back to Verona and allow them to go down and get an offensive possession. So a lot of times, instead of calling a set play here, you might look at attacking a certain matchup against maybe one of the short stick defenders. You could look at more of a concept. Let's try to get a guy isolated. Let's try to run an invert. Let's get a big sweep. So I would be interesting to see which way they go coming out of this timeout. It's always a tough one on the coach to make a decision on the fly here.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Verona side, you have to imagine Coach Al Kramer talking about getting players to the interior of that defense and supporting off ball to collapse some of that space we've been talking about here tonight.
Yeah, the way Caleb Javis has been playing in goal for Verona tonight, that'll affect how you play defense on ball and off ball too. And you're not so worried about giving up those outside shots if you can rely on your goalie to track the ball as well as he's been doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brett Rood, Cato Mickelson, and Trevor Barlow out at midfield for Oregon.
Looks like Israel Mickelson is running through the attack here on this possession.
Yeah. So it looks like Oregon is content to just run the clock down probably to about 20 seconds, and then they'll presumably run some kind of a set play. Maybe not. They're running meat. Coach Tim Francis's favorite play from college.
Good opportunity created there out of that play, but again, Caleb Javis just a brick wall and cage tonight.
Wow. Yeah, fast break for Verona now.
Great pass downfield. See if the Wildcats.
Great rotation by Oregon on defense there to stop that. But that changes the matchups on defense, and Verona might have an advantageous matchup they can exploit now with 30 seconds left in the half. I believe they'll take a timeout here.
Talk things through, allow Oregon a chance to regroup though.
Yeah, get their offensive personnel out.
There you go, Caleb!
Like to see the Panthers come out of this timeout with a little bit more heavy on-ball pressure here. Got about 26 seconds left in the quarter. If they can create some disruption here immediately out of the timeout, I have to wonder if they can get the ball on the ground and get another opportunity to score here before halftime.
Yeah, a lot of times you can throw a wrench into the plans of whatever the coach is drawing up. If you throw some junk defense at them, whether that's a double team or really aggressive on-ball defense or a zone or something, they're drawing up a play right now for the defense they've been facing this whole first half, and if that changes coming out of the timeout.
Did somebody ask for Oregon Wildcats out of the stadium?
Yeah, absolutely. Like to see the Panthers make some sort of adjustment here to throw that wrench that you've mentioned into the Wildcats' plan. Six seconds left here in the second quarter. Score remains Oregon Panthers 2, Verona Wildcats 3.
Again, coming out of the timeout, Brady Field and Gabe Grossen in at short stick defense for Oregon. Probably the single toughest position in lacrosse in my mind. They've been getting a lot of work down there and really holding their own tonight.
Yeah, with all the opportunities created here, goalkeepers are standing on their heads, but these short stick defensive midfielders are also playing very well. Keep some of these matchups contained a bit more here. Verona setting up a
10
dodge
seconds.
Here. 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Really nice job on defense there. Really nice job on ball defense by Brady Field.
Technically a save there, and the first half. So Kevin, so far, what are you seeing out there? Keys to the game for both teams here?
I haven't really seen either team establish themselves on the ground balls or in transition. I think Oregon has been slightly cleaner on their clears than Verona has, but Verona's been able to earn some of those throwaways back on the ground balls afterwards. Offensively, I would love to see Oregon move the ball a little bit quicker. I think having the balance of the lefties really allows you to spread that field east to west and stretch a defense and make it awfully tough on them. But if you're not spinning the ball quick leading into that dodge, then it's really easy for the defense to set up and anticipate what's coming. Defensively, both teams are doing a nice job of staying on hands and disrupting. But from a team defense, the two-slide, the cold slide, hasn't been there consistently enough. And it's still early in the season, so that's something that you see even with really experienced, mature teams. By the end of the season here, I would expect both these teams to have that solidified going into the playoffs.
Good, welcome back for the second half here. Game between the Oregon Panthers and the Verona Wildcats.
Right at the start of halftime, I was able to give my thoughts on that first half. Never get a chance to ask you. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, from a defensive standpoint, because that's where most of my background is. I think we've kind of talked through these points, but I'll reiterate them here again. I think both teams been solid on defense, mostly due to the goalkeepers here, kind of keeping both their respective teams in this game. Would like to see them kind of collapse that backside space a bit more, both teams, and take up some of the interior of that defense. From an offensive standpoint, not really my forte as a defensive coach, as I mentioned, but kind of the opposite of that. Look for both these teams to kind of create opportunities in the middle of the field for their offenses. For the Panthers, I'd like to see them move some guys to the interior of the field in these open sets and try to create some opportunities there for feeders to hit those guys cutting through the middle of the field. As for the Verona Wildcats, I'd like to see them take advantage of some of this miscommunication Panther defense.
All right, opening face-off in the second half. The Owens square off.
It's like a hold assessed against Verona here.
Trevor Barlow drawing that long stick midfield matchup. He's got Cato on the backside. He finds him. Oh, what a great start to the half.
Great shot with the offensive rebound, and again, a huge save there by Caleb Javis.
Love to see him get this ball backside quickly. They got a lot of space over there with Braden Konecki.
They have to slow it down here as they move the ball over to, it's Cato Mickelson there. Yes, it is.
Seems to be getting his footing just fine tonight.
Sweeping to the left side there, gets a good opportunity and buries it.
Cato. Cato had generated a really nice shot right before the half and went high to high on it and got stuffed by Caleb Javis.
Goal scored by number 3, Cato Mickelson.
This time he comes in from about the same spot on the field with a nice overhand release and sticks that ball in that low far side corner, and that's a tough one for any goalie to stop, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, especially on that spot in the field there. Well within that scorer's arc concept that you've taught for a number of years here.
Yeah, and it's always nice. You can see some faded women's lacrosse lines out there, and that arc does a pretty good job of representing what we call the scorer's arc in men's lacrosse, which is just the area of the field where we're trying to generate high percentage shots from. Verona with a face-off win, but a minute into the second half and the game is tied up at 3-3, and it's about exactly what Oregon was hoping for.
Yeah, good possession there to start the half by the Panthers. See them follow it up with a solid defensive possession here. Trevor Barlow still out there on defense. Ooh. Like to see him take up some of that space there and drive that offensive player off his line towards the corner of the field there. It's a little too passive there and a little too slow to help. Leads to a Wildcat goal.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Again, we had a very good angle on that shot to see what was going on, and Oregon's done such a nice job of channeling the Dodgers to the outside and taking away the middle of the field, which is exactly what happened there. As the player wound up to take his shot, what Logan does is he likes to key on that Dodger's front shoulder, and if that shoulder drops low, he expects a low shot. And you can see him anticipating and starting to drop down there. The defender was able to get a lift on the shooter's hands, which is why that shot came in high, and it ended up costing them.
Play is stopped as the face-off guy's sticks are tangled together. Not a common occurrence, but I can say I have seen that before. And sometimes it does take a little bit of figuring out here.
I think that'll be alternating possession to decide who gets the ball coming out of this.
This looks like that alternate possession was won by the Wildcats during the coin flip earlier this game. So should that happen twice in one game, the next possession will go to the Panthers.
Interesting. Looks like Gabe Grossen has picked up a long pole and is running long stick midfield now. They've got Trevor Barlow and Brady Fieldman at short stick.
A little bit of a change up for the defense here. We'll see if they can generate some more pressure.
Tim Grace, top right. Levin Eustace, bottom right, and Jacob Sturtz, bottom left, rounding out the rest of that defense right now.
Wildcats moving the ball around the perimeter of the offense here. Oregon opting to sit back a little bit, a little more passive here on defense than we'd like to see them.
Nice recovery there.
Recovery by the defense, press out backside here. Ball is out of bounds. Panthers ball.
Looks like they'll be restarting it with Brady Field.
Smartly moves it over to the goalkeeper, initially covered by two Wildcats there.
Levin Eustace just trying to outrun his
Carrying
guys.
Upfield, looks to get the angle there on the attackman and outruns him.
Oh, what a great play by Levin Eustace there.
See the Panthers
too
come
bad
up
it
with this
got
ground
dropped.
ball in the middle of the field here. A bit of a fireball there up in the air.
Nice ground ball by Israel Mickelson. I'm seeing that a lot. Parker Rydell with the ball.
Oregon looking to move the ball around the perimeter here as they get their offensive substitutes in the game.
Trevor Barlow kicks it over to Brett Rude. Brett Rude with a lot of space down that wing.
See him take advantage of this here. Clear
A little
some space for
hesitant.
his
He's
right
trying to
hand.
get to that right hand. Yep. Oh, he's got the corner.
It's a low angle
There
shot,
it is.
makes it.
Nice take.
Sneaks that one past Caleb Jabas for Panther goal. Good form on that overhand shot there to make up for the lack of angle as he was
Oregon
driving down
Panther
the
goal
alley.
scored by number 5, Brett Rude.
And just like that, we're tied back up at 4-4 with 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
It's like both teams making some offensive adjustments during halftime that are paying off here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, the high shots weren't going and the bounce shots weren't going because this grass seems to soften those bounces so much. So the goals that have been scored so far in this half have been low shots. The exception being that Verona one that accidentally went high and ended up going in.
It's Owen Lang shot off the face-off there. I'd like to see the Panthers collapse that defense down, prevent him from getting that shot, but wide of the mark.
Oregon still trying to get marked up. Henry Rothering on ball. Oregon running a little hook pick.
Nice defensive play on the interior to get the ball on the ground. The Wildcats do remain possession of the ball.
And I still haven't seen either of these teams eager to be very physical on ground balls. And in the modern era of lacrosse, wow, it can be tough to be physical on ground balls because you get flagged for it a lot. But if you're smart about it, you can establish that physicality, make that other team short arm their ground ball attempts, and really get a good advantage coming out of the ground balls.
Absolutely, especially in a closely contested game like this where both these goalkeepers are having outstanding games so far. Ooh, nice knockdown there by Henry. Bit of physicality there on the ground ball, eventually won there
Cato
by
Mickelson.
Cato Mickelson.
And they got a fast break if he wants to push it, but they got an imbalance here. I'd love to see him try to find the trailers. We're coming in unmarked. And they'll slow it down. Nice roll dodge.
Another backhanded shot there by Israel Mickelson, this time hitting the crossbar, bouncing out. Or
Ground
upright,
ball
rather.
scrum.
Yeah, neither team being very physical here, just a lot of trying to dig that ball out with the head of the stick.
Israel Mickelson with another ground ball. So even hobbled and not at full speed, he still has really been a force on the ground balls tonight.
Combination of skill and grit on those ground balls here. That's what both teams need.
Brett Rude.
Ooh,
A lot lot of times you'll see that called as a 30-second hold, but certainly in the gray area.
Oftentimes hard to assess that penalty there as the player's momentum can sometimes throw them off balance. But nevertheless, Verona moves the ball down here, gets into their offensive side of the field, looks to work the ball around here as they sub in their offensive players.
One difference I'm noticing out of Verona's offense this year compared to recent years, they really the last 2 years in particular have been very focused on kind of isolation, one-on-one dodges. And this year, almost every time I see a player initiating a dodge, they're running him off of a pick or a two-man look and keeping his eyes up trying to feed the backside. Seems to be working for him a lot better this year.
Yeah, definitely more of that chemistry being built within the program here over these past couple of years. To take advantage of a screen there, ball is on the ground. Quickly scooped up by the Panthers.
Oh, Tauschik.
Putting a lot of miles on the tires here. Errant pass.
Oregon can still set up for a ride and try to earn the ball back here. But they're going to want to send a double team. Otherwise, they're leaving an attackman to try and stop a short stick with a lot of space, and that's always tough.
So they're opting to drop the attackman back. Going to have 3 free safeties there, if you will. Does get the ball on the ground, possession to the Panthers. About 5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter.
And Israel Mickelson's got a matchup on a short stick defender here, which he
to take advantage of here. Gets a shot off just barely there as he falls to the ground. Ball corralled by the Verona Wildcats.
Verona just looking a little panicked in their clearing here. They haven't been connecting on these passes. Oh, that's going to be a push.
Interesting. No penalty assessed there. Loose ball push called. Possession remains with the Wildcats, though, as they clear it into their offensive side of the field. Look to work the ball around the perimeter.
Doing a better job now, collapsing that backside defense in.
This looks like a player caught ball watching there, momentarily losing track of his guy, and the Verona Wildcats take advantage of that.
A lot of composure there by Logan Leatherberry, under pressure, out of the goal, still able to find an open player. But that's been the story of the second half so far, really, is sloppy transition play by both teams. A lot of throwaways.
Auburn!
And Verona's not touched it in the box. Now they have. So they almost lost possession there.
Errant pass there by the Wildcats goes out of bounds.
Just looking out at the field, I know it's cold and you can see the flag whipping around. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if players' hands are starting to go a little bit numb from the cold, and a lot of times that can lead to some sloppy stick work and throwaways.
Absolutely, especially as the game wears on and players take more and more hits to their hands here. Verona's slowing it down as they're getting their offensive subs on the field.
Oregon staying pretty packed in on defense this time.
It's good to see them collapse that backside space and take away some of those opportunities Verona had earlier in this game. Ooh. Good dodge and a physical slide there by Trevor Barlow. Tim Grice coming up with the ball, moves it over to Cato Mickelson.
It's in the gray area,
really
could have been flagged.
Pushing here. A fast break, ball's on the ground.
Right here would be the perfect time to body up on this ground ball. Cato Mickelson comes away with it.
to see the Panthers just move the ball around here, get a little more composed on offense.
If Verona is willing to spread out as much as they have been so far this game, you almost want to take advantage of that and start in that open set and really spread the field and see how far you can suck them out and create space in the middle.
Absolutely.
Barlow trying to get topside to that strong hand.
Lots of space created there.
I'd love to see him take 2 more steps and get a little bit more of a hip rotation before that shot there.
Yeah, get those hips squared up to the cage there before taking that shot.
Disguise that shot a little bit better from the goalie.
Turnover in the clear here leads to a Panther possession. Gonna move the ball around the perimeter here, just kind of get the offense situated.
And a lot of what I've seen from the Oregon offense tonight, I'm seeing some really good things off the dodge, and I think it really feels like they're maybe a step or 2 away from really starting to click on offense.
Yeah, the opportunities are definitely there. The execution getting a little better here in this 3rd quarter, but still like to see them clean some of that up here throughout the rest of the game.
For a hold or a slash, I'm not sure.
It's a good opportunity.
Braden Konecki, what a shot.
Shot by Braden Konecki. And that right-handed wing.
That was
ball
really
movement.
nice.
Heads up play to move that ball after drawing 2 defenders.
Oregon Panther goal scored by number 29, Braden
Score here.
Konecki.
Oregon Panthers 5, Verona Wildcats 4.
And what I really love about that shot from Braden Konecki, he caught it at about a 3/4 release point. He arched his back when he shot, and so it released from a fully overhand release point and put that ball low and far side. And some of those little subtle things that shooters can do is the difference between a save and a goal. That's a really high-level play by Braden Konecki there.
Absolutely, and you like to see him use that move there on that shot with the way Caleb Jabas has been playing in net.
Yep, those far side low shots have been about the only thing to beat Jabas tonight. And it looks like Verona's penalty was a personal foul. It's still being served despite the goal being scored. I think I just heard Coach Kramer say 2 minutes on the kill, so it might have been a hit to the head locked in.
Nevertheless, the Wildcats come up with possession here off the face-off, likely looking to kill off some of this penalty time here before driving in.
Gabe Grossen on ball.
Good job taking this opportunity to press out to hands, be a little more aggressive here since they have a free defender to help if needed. Trevor Barlow on defense there. He's been all over the field tonight, offensive and defensive sides of the field.
Ooh, nice catch. That's Adam Zach for Verona. No, sorry, Gil Wiesenthal. And that's the end of the quarter. Verona, with a player in the box, had possession to end that quarter, which means they're going to start the 4th quarter with the ball. But this quarter break will also give the Oregon coaches a chance to set up some sort of a scheme to try to get the ball back and capitalize on this power play.
Absolutely, and you have to imagine the Wildcats are going to start with one of their faster, more endurance-heavy players out there with the ball, just going to kill off the rest of this penalty.
Yeah, they'll be expecting some sort of pressure, some sort of aggressive defense. I'm sure they'll be talking about it. And you know what? One of the easiest ways to avoid that double team coming out of a dead ball situation is you just pick up the ball and you put it in your weak hand, and as soon as they blow the whistle, you throw it to your strong hand and you run. And something that little, a lot of times, is all it takes. It seems like it shouldn't work, but a lot of times in the moment, the players are so focused on other things that they don't even really think about what your actual strong hand is.
They're so keyed into that hand you start with that they set up to defend from a double team standpoint there and kind of lose that integrity, ideally creating more of a V shape between those two defensive players to pin that offensive player in the middle of that V and be able to take the ball away. But
much easier said than done.
Absolutely, yes.
It's one that you can spend weeks drilling in practice and still get beat in games on it. It's
Absolutely.
Awfully tough. So, start of the 4th quarter here. Oregon 5, Verona 4. It's been a great contest so far, a really close match. It's just good seeing these two programs, the Wildcats and the Panthers, the orange and the black, going head to head in a really good lacrosse game.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for those at home for spending your Friday night with us here.
I was going to start with the ball top left with number 9, Adam Zach. And it appears that Oregon is not going to double team to start. They're going to start Brady Field on ball, and they're going to have that hot side freed up in the middle should they need to send the double team. You know, it's been really nice watching some of the younger defenders for Oregon make adjustments throughout this game. Henry Rothering is doing a nice job helping into the middle right now. Earlier, Tim Grice was doing a really nice job positioning himself as the hot side. A lot of talent in this sophomore class for Oregon, a really bright future for these guys.
Yeah, Levin Eustace has been all over the field, moving his feet, staying in solid positioning. Again, once they can build that experience up, they'll be a very, very solid unit. The skills are not lacking, but the chemistry and the experience there that they're looking to build here this season.
And Levin's going to try to get topside as right hand here. So Oregon sent that double team, but now they got to recover. Mark back up. They're a little bit late, but they got there in time. Chip Sturts on ball.
Verona swinging the ball here around the perimeter. Looking to set up a dodge here in the low corner.
You gotta hit the slot, man.
A little bit of a screen there.
You know what? This is the best team offense I've seen Verona run so far this game, and Oregon's responded by running some really nice team defense. Sending the slide, getting that backside fill in to help cover up the crease area, and then recovering afterwards.
Yeah, both teams have been making some pretty good adjustments here throughout the game. Still a very, very close contest. Shot just wide of the mark there.
And that's a matchup there that Oregon's going to want to try to change. Number 9, Adam Zach, is one of Verona's top offensive threats, and he has a short stick defender matched up on him right now. Would not be at all surprised if Coach Kramer tries to create a scenario where they can just isolate that matchup one-on-one.
Yeah, and
Sure
right
enough.
as you say that, yes, right back to it. Almost the exact same play there. See Logan Leatherberry talking with his defense to send help a little bit earlier there, so that shot isn't quite as freed up.
More pick play, two-man game from Verona. And right as that player was able to turn the corner and get topside, he lost his footing and bailed out Oregon.
Great check there by Jacob Sturts to get that ball on the ground. Kicks it up to some free space here to fight for it. Again, able to move that ball up to space.
I'm not sure what Eric DeBoy, the ref, saw there. He called a push on, I believe, on Jacob Sturts.
Very
Might have had a different angle on their positioning.
interesting call there, but possession back to the Wildcats here. Getting back to that alley dodge, moving it off this time for a doorstep shot. Just off there.
And this wouldn't be a bad time for Coach Francis to call a timeout for Oregon, just to let the defense rest. When you fail on a clear and you have a tired defense, a lot of times it leads to you getting scored on in that next possession. So it's always tough to burn one of your 2 timeouts, especially in the second half, but very well could save him a goal if he's able to.
Yeah, in such a close game like this here, that could be the difference. Making sure your defense remains fresh for the remainder of this game here.
Team Grace is kind of caught in no man's land there on that side.
Commits to it. There is a low angle shot, results in a Leatherberry save. Ensuing ground ball is picked up by Verona.
There's pressure on the hands here.
Move it!
Able to move the ball around here.
Go!
There's a lot of space to give him. This would be a great time to call timeout.
It's the defense communicating here during that out of bounds. We can see him get a little more organized as the ball swings around the offense. Great save there by Logan.
Psyched him out with a pump fake, but just threw a meatball at Logan. Oregon running a little substitution trick to free up a player on the clear.
Great job staying on the
Braden
sides
Konecki on the
here.
backside, good find.
Opts to slow it down there.
That's twice tonight. Tim Grice has carried the ball down on offense and had his eyes in the right spot and made a nice composed decision with the ball. Trevor Barlow with a short stick matchup. Oh.
Ooh. Shot off one of the Verona players there. A little bit of a scrum here for this ground ball. Let's see if the Panthers can come out with it. Looks like there it is, Trevor Barlow
somebody
again.
backside. He just can't get his eyes up and his hands free.
Move that over to Cato Mickelson.
Cato's going to try to get to his left hand to the middle here. A nice clear through there from Brady Zimmerman. Trevor Barlow. Oh.
Big save there by Caleb Javis again.
Yeah, you could see Caleb kind of bait him into that high shot and leave that space up top and know it's so hard for a shooter to not take it.
Absolutely. Can't quite see the penalty being assessed here.
Cato Mickelson starting with the ball on the left wing. Oregon starting in an interesting formation here. It's technically an open set. I haven't seen a whole lot of Jacob Yeakley tonight. That hamstring must really be bothering him. I think I've only seen him out on power plays. But that's a great find. Nice skip. A nice recovery by Verona.
Yeah. Quick to recover there to take away that advantage created by the Panthers.
They're going to force a rotation with some quick ball movement.
Opens up a shot there for Barlow, who puts it up in the top corner. Great opportunity created on that power play opportunity for the Panthers. Just some crisp ball movement to pull that Verona defense out of position, move the ball back to that open shooter who's creeping in towards that scorer's arc and just fires it high there on Javis.
Looked like Trevor Barlow took it personally that he got baited into that high-to-high meatball on the last one.
Said, watch this.
Yeah, made him pay that time.
Absolutely.
Legal procedure on Owen Tauschik, all to Verona. You can see the Oregon defense has been setting up to slide from the crease when they need to, and that's, I believe, the third or fourth time this game I've seen that adjacent player double team the ball and give up that pass.
And a heads-up play there by the Wildcat player to see that and take advantage of that space being created by the defender, cutting to that with a stick up by his ear. His teammate sees him.
Getting to a nice angle for that finish and that shot.
Nice easy shot right there on the doorstep.
And that's one where if you don't send that double team and you give up the shot, you've got a defender on the shooter's hips. Logan Leatherberry is a good enough goalie. He's going to stop that almost every time.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of those things you can potentially chalk up to inexperience here and just a breakdown in communication for the Panthers defense.
Nice rotation on that fast break defense.
able to get the ball on the ground, but the Verona Wildcats retain possession here. Looking to drive into the center of the defense here. And a big save on the doorstep there by Logan Leatherberry. A bit of a broken play the Verona Wildcats are taking advantage of, and he just reaches up there and stuffs that one.
The Oregon defense has just looked a little discombobulated in these last 2 possessions here. Would be nice if they were able to get the ball in offense, get a nice long possession, and just let the defense rest a little bit.
Absolutely. Verona Wildcats seem to be taking advantage of some of these ground ball opportunities here in the 4th quarter to generate some extra possessions. Leads to a goal here a few seconds later.
They'll tie the game up now at 6-6 with 5 minutes left in the game.
See this Panthers defense just play with a little more sense of urgency getting out to some of these shooters. I think we're a couple steps too slow here and just need to commit to that a little bit sooner.
So that was Gabe Weisensaul on the shot. I apologize if I butchered that last name. 2027, so a young player.
Face-off won by the Wildcats.
And I've seen very little of Israel Mickelson in this second half. Again, dealing with that hamstring injury. And that really could be a key factor really in the turning of the tide here in Verona's favor.
Absolutely. It looks like he's down playing attack right now, but
again,
taking him out of the midfield.
Tim Grace is the hot side, and he looks eager to go, but I'm not seeing that backside player help in and help cover up that crease.
I'd like to see Tim communicate a little bit more here with his teammates and call them into position. He seems to be in very good position here, seems to know what he's doing, and just needs to communicate a little bit more, get some of that support to the interior of the defense. Big save there by Logan Leatherberry.
Nice breakout.
Beautiful outlet pass to Trevor Barlow.
And
hitting him up the field.
With all this space, Trevor Barlow, oh, he's got that guy coming behind. He's so slippery. He's such a good athlete. He has a really good feel for space. He's jinxed him there, of course. That'll be a good opportunity for Oregon to maybe get something easy in transition.
The ball down low to Israel Mickelson, who wraps around the crease here.
Nice.
Moves up to space. Let's see if we can track down the ground ball here.
Again, the right look and the right decision, and the execution just wasn't quite there.
Good job by the defense here, getting back and shutting off any sort of opportunities for the Wildcats. Coming up on 3:30 left here in the 4th quarter. Game is tied 6 apiece. Possession Verona Wildcats moving the ball around, looking to initiate a dodge here from this top corner.
Giving up a lot of ground before they're challenging him.
Backside to that player again, but Logan Leatherberry with another huge save. Both goalies putting on an absolute clinic tonight. High shots, low shots, these outlet passes have been crisp on both sides. This is very impressive. Of course, they're my turn to jinx it here as the Panthers turn it over on the clear. Yeah, possession goes back to the Wildcats.
Downfield pass came in just a little bit low there. That's always a tough handle on a grass field.
Yeah. Absolutely, almost have to play a bit of shortstop there to try to keep your body in front of the ball, which is much easier said than done.
Oregon looks like they're just going to concede the ride here. They're giving a lot of space to the Verona shorties.
Relying on their attackmen here to generate some sort of pressure on this side of the field, but
it might just be that that defense is tired and doesn't have the energy to pressure.
Creating lots of opportunities here in the middle of the field. At the end of the 4th quarter, I'd like to see this defense get packed in a little bit more, play from the interior out.
Nice job by 11. Eustace turning him underneath there.
Yeah, using his stick to disrupt this shot here is Leatherberry.
Another great
Another
save.
big save. Corrals the ground ball and moves upfield.
Probably
Moving
screen
call. Interesting. Didn't see much contact there, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Official must have had a better angle there down on the field.
Not sure where that occurred. Oregon's got matchup problems right now.
A little bit of a communication mix-up there, but they're able to get back. But Verona takes advantage from that outside shot.
You could see the way that ball didn't bounce the way you would have expected it to. It just kind of skipped on the ground and was able to catch Logan Leatherberry off guard. And that'll put Verona up 7-6 with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game.
Big face-off coming up here. The crowd getting into it a bit.
Tauschik wins a draw. Cato Mickelson with a great
Possession
ground
there
ball.
for the Panthers.
That was crucial. Verona's substituting here, but Oregon. And a timeout by Verona as soon as they got possession.
Coach Al Kramer to set them up with possession here. 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
And that restart is going to happen in a kind of a precarious spot. The ball's right in the middle of the field, right at the midline. So it will allow the attackman for Oregon to kind of pin that player into the middle and potentially get some pressure from that long pole defender.
I'd like to see Oregon come out here with that long stick midfielder on ball, bracketed by 2 attackmen to either side, and really force him to move that ball backward, ideally to the goalie, to stretch that field and make that a longer, clear opportunity for the Wildcats. So as the Panthers break the huddle here, that they opt to come out in for a ride. Verona finishing up their discussions here on how they're going to clear the ball.
Under 2 minutes with 1 goal lead for Verona. If they get the ball down on offense, they're going to have to step it into the box and keep it in the box on offense. So one thing that we always work with players on is to not fall into that trap of stepping the ball into one of the top corners of the box, because you'll get yourself pinned in right away. Hopefully, Verona during that timeout talked about carrying that ball down the alley and stepping it in down low so that they give themselves some space to operate.
Absolutely.
But
and with
Oregon
this,
sitting back and not sending any pressure here out of the timeout. They're going to take advantage of the fact that Verona's going to have to keep it in the box and wait to send pressure.
yeah, I'd like to see them generate a bit more pressure here in this smaller space.
And send to the double team with the
Logan
goalie.
Leatherberry coming out of cage there. With 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Oregon needs to press off those adjacent passes. There's not an easy outlet for the ball carrier when they send that double team, and you get some pressure.
Absolutely, especially with Leatherberry out of cage there. You want to remove those easy outlet options for these offensive players. Really force them to throw that stretch pass or to continue running that defenseman on them. Evan Eustace here with the pressure. See him get a little bit more in hands there, get a little more physical on the boundary of this offensive box.
What did they? I believe they called a loose ball push. Coach Francis was trying to get a timeout, but I think the push was called before the timeout. Nice play by Logan Leatherberry to take a chance there and get the ball loose.
Able to put it on the ground, but just unfortunately does make contact with the back of that Verona player.
But the ball left the box on that. Shouldn't that have been a... What a save.
Wow. Oh.
This ball push called again against Oregon.
56 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Possession remains with the Verona Wildcats, looking to run out the final few seconds of the game.
If you're Oregon here, you need the ball back. If you give up another goal, it's not great, but you got to take chances. And
absolutely. We have a
another
timeout
for
called
Verona.
by the Verona Wildcats, their second and final timeout here of the half. See the Panthers draw something up here coming out of this timeout to generate a little bit more pressure. I think there's an opportunity to set up a solid double team coming out of this timeout. probably a better opportunity than they'll have for the rest of the game to set that up.
They got to pull out all the tricks they got right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So start with a couple defensemen or long stick midfielders on ball here. I think Levin, Eustace, and Tim Grice have both been having great games when we get them out there. Bracket the ball carrier here and see if we can generate a turnover. 44 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Score is Oregon Panthers 6, Verona Wildcats 7.
Well, we got a minute here. I'd like to give a shout out to Eddie Bragnano. Does photography for the team and has for quite a few years at this point. And he's always here supporting the team, and it's just been great to have him and really helpful to have some high quality photos of the boys in action. Up in the booth, my toes are frozen, so I can only imagine how cold it is on that sideline, and he's hanging in there like a champ. Well, another interesting thing to think about this year with the conference realignment, these teams will face each other twice. And this has been a really tight matchup, but these guys will have a second shot to go head-to-head at Verona later this year. So it'll be interesting to see how each of these teams have grown since then.
Absolutely. Verona steps it into the offensive box here.
Oregon sending a triple team.
Looking to pin that player against the side of the offensive box and drive him out. Trying to use that end line as an additional defender to get him out, but he's able to split that triple team. Jackson Connor for Verona just taking this physical punishment here thrown out by the Panthers defense, trying to dislodge the ball in the final seconds.
And a nice hit by Logan Leatherberry that he gets flagged for. And I'm not sure what was wrong with that body check.
Yeah, tough angle here
under
from
control and
my
to the
perspective.
front.
Yeah. Sometimes you wonder if those calls are based on difference in player size.
Yeah, Oregon is a large stature goalie. And in lacrosse, when a goalie gets a penalty, he must serve that penalty. So Oregon has sent in the backup, Keaton DiMartino, an outstanding sophomore. But with only 9 seconds left in the game, it's going to be tough for Oregon to pull off a miracle here.
Yeah, their only hope is to generate some immediate pressure here. Once the whistle blows, try to get that ball on the ground, get it back to the attackman for a last-second opportunity here.
Yeah, you almost have to plant at least one attackman down right on the crease in front of that far net. If that ball gets loose, you just huck it down and hope something happens.
Yeah, secure the goalie's vision a little bit there and see if maybe sneak one in.
Coach Tim calling an equipment check on one of these Verona players. He's desperate for anything at this point, and you know, a lot of times you can get caught up on a technicality with the equipment, whether it's an illegal stick, your pocket has stretched out during the course of the game due to moisture, or it's gotten pinched on some ground balls.
Appears as though that stick is in regulation. No penalty for Jackson Connor of Verona. Immediate pressure here by Trevor Barlow. Fortunately not quite enough here as the Verona Wildcats run out the clock. And that'll do it here at Panther Stadium. Oregon Panthers 6, Verona Wildcats 7.